Hey, what's up? I'm back. I have about 34 minutes for this next message. It is quiet again. Appreciate that. Someone did not want me to put out that last message, but you know what? I can't redo it. It is what it is. Didn't stop me. So now I am going to get into this deck, which I am also equally excited for. This is the Kali Oracle. All the aspects of Kali. Again, I'm going to read the book on this. And if I mess up the words, the names of these cards, forgive me. I mean no disrespect whatsoever. And with that being said, I am just going to go ahead and get into it because of all the wonderful things he does. Fuck, I don't know where the fuck that came from. Let me breathe a second. It's almost sunset time. It's dark out here. Alright, let's do this. That's it. Okay. Whew. All right. First we have, you see if I can say this. Like I said, I mean no disrespect. Yuga Shakti. As number 13. And number 1, Smashana. Switch them. So we'll switch them. Smashana is the number 1. Let's read it. She shines her blessing of divine destruction, clearing away that which undermines your confidence and inhibits your activity on your life path. With the courage born of unconditional trust, you can accept her fierce intervention in your life with openness to the positive changes that shall emerge as a result. And that ties into the last reading about shedding the old. Just saying. Smashana Kali is fierce. Her presence indicates radical divine intervention. It may at first be experienced as a shock and some form of upheaval. She dwells in the taboo lands of the cremation grounds. Hers is the teaching that divine timing must prevail, and sometimes certain involvements or circumstances must end. We cannot control the workings of destiny, but we can choose how we respond to the essential ending of a chapter in our lives. I'm getting the feeling of like a blessing in disguise. Sometimes things that we deem horrible, traumatizing even, that make us feel like that make us feel like there's nothing after this. This is the worst it can get. But the fact that we survive that moment, the fact that we can find a way to draw strength and pull ourselves through it shows that there's got to be a reason why we've been put through it. And there always is. These blessings in disguise. And it all depends on your perspective. We can do two things at the end of traumatic experiences, and we can say, that's it, I'm done, I give up. Or we can push through it. And when you push through it, when we find the strength to push through it, we come to terms with our own power. We come to terms with our own strength. And we get to a point, a month down the line, 6 months down the line, a year down the line, where we can look back and say, holy shit, I made it through that. And not only did I make it through that, I'm better because of it. As fucked up as it was, as twisted as it was, I'm better because of it. Smashana can appear when we are in difficult times due to the loss of a loved one or the failure of something we had counted on, or even a more subtle inner experience of an ending we cannot link to an external event. Her presence is an indication that life as you have known it will change radically. This can be a welcome release from difficult times and prolonged cycles of suffering. Smashana is not quiet and subdued in the cremation grounds. She is wild and vital. She brings energy and aliveness to situations where there would be otherwise none. She brings about an end to stagnation that has been depleting your life force. An upheaval can give rise to uncertainty about how to manage the transition and what will come next. There's this rushing energy. It's this energy of someone who's had enough. Get out of my way. Someone who has been held down by so much. I'm getting this image like of someone, literally someone that has been buried, that is bursting from beneath the surface. Someone pushing, almost like a train, shoving its way through a mountain. Get out of my way. We must remember, in the tantric teachings, cremation grounds are not only places of death, but of liberation. Like I said, somebody being buried. Kali teaches that sometimes what we have loved needs to be released so a greater love can manifest in a new form. We cannot always know why that needs to be, but we can trust Kali is acting for our benefit. We may have fear around letting go, just as many beings fear the ultimate act of letting go, the release of the body into death itself. Kali is not a goddess of actual death. She is the goddess of the spiritual and symbolic death of the ego. Her presence is about endings that lead to beginnings. Her presence is not about death, but transformation. She not only brings to an end that which obstructs our spiritual fruition, she also manifests the past from release to reemergence. She not only brings to an end that which obstructs our spiritual fruition. Get out of my way. She also manifests the path from release to reemergence. Dwelling in the lands of the dead, she is the sacred feminine chariot that carries the soul beyond the threshold of one life cycle or chapter into the next. If you know you have come to the end of the road in some significant way and are awaiting clarity on how to cross the threshold toward whatever is next, her presence will make the path known to you. Her appearance is the portent of powerful change. Although we may not welcome it at first, we can know that because it is initiated by her, wild wisdom and divine love are its underlining purpose. As we move with the changes taking place within, As we move with the changes taking place within and likely also around us, we will eventually recognize the blessings that have transformed our lives for the better. I said that. Blessings in disguise. I just feel this. It's like somebody just woke the fuck up. Somebody just woke up and recognized all the shit around them that's been trying to hold them down and stand in their way. that reemergence, that rebirth, that rising from the ashes, but in this forceful warrior-like sense, this enough, enough. You will not treat me this way anymore. You will not disregard me this way anymore. You will not disrespect me this way anymore. You will not control me this way anymore. If that's you, keep going. All right, we're going to go to this next card, number 13. Yuga Shakti. Yuga Shakti. Okay, let's do it. Her timing is fierce with compassionate wisdom. To love her is to honor her greater knowing. She demands the surrender of our futile attempts to control that which is beyond our sphere of understanding until that pain transforms into the sweet pleasure of release. Even the right thing cannot attain fruition at the wrong time. Trust her and be shown again that her divinely orchestrated workings of time serve you faithfully with love and grace. Kali's outstretched tongue and open mouth signify her fierce form as the devouring divine warrior goddess. The energy is intense. Time emerges from Kali and ends with her. To birth the new, she devours the old. Persistence for clinging to what has been, the attachment to our past pain and fear of an unknown future are no match for her genius and unwavering will to clear it away and provide the best conditions for the next chapter to unfold. This is not only tying into what I just said, but into the last reading. The last reading was just a much gentler way to say it. The Rose Oracle said, let's bloom. This oracle says, let's fucking do this. There are cosmic cycles within which the personal cycles in our lives must align. There are karmic time frames that govern soul contracts and relationships, the timing of life, circumstances, and changes of fortune, and the opening up of pathways for us. Using our free will, we can enhance the flow of healing and do all we can to ready ourselves to step forward at the appropriate moment. Yet it is the Divine Mother in her infinite wisdom and regenerative power that knows and enacts the perfect transition at the best time. She orchestrates the shifting of individual and collective cycles to be in harmony with each other, so every being gains spiritual benefit through what unfolds. The Oracle of Yuga Shakti, confirms that you are going to experience considerable change. The timing of this unfoldment is significant. There are many factors at play. You will sense when that correct moment is upon you. During this time globally, the light of spiritual knowledge is partially subsumed within the darkness of ignorance and confusion. Even those with the awareness to have positive intentions can become confused and place profit above integrity, attack brothers and sisters on the path, or lay claim to knowledge on false foundations. Even when our intentions are noble, in effect, our actions can create further suffering. Such conflict and confusion are signs that Ashuric or negative forces have gained the upper hand. Kali Ma's darkness and ferocity are required to redress the spiritual imbalance. We are in particular need of her most terrifying manifestations when we become confused as to what belongs to the highest sacred truth and what does not. Do not allow yourself to be convinced by another or of anything. Lean into your heart connection to the divine. Inner clarity and higher understanding will arise for you. You will see how close the chapter on the path You will see how close the chapter on the past and I think that's a misprint. You will see how close the chapter on the past and move. You will see how to close. I'm going to put the word to in there. You will see how to close the chapter on the past and move into a new cycle. Uniquely to the iconography of Kali in the Hindu tradition from which she emerges is her poked out tongue. Kali's tongue represents her wild mystery teaching. The tongue is the organ of discernment, digestion, and speech. It assists us in taking the right things in and expressing ourselves as we choose. Our mother tongue means the language of our birth. Kali is the cosmic mother tongue. She is the original spiritual language of our hearts and souls. Hers is the language of spirit and light, of the truth beneath the form, and the reassurance that although we must submit to the shifting of greater cycles, those cycles ultimately move for our greatest spiritual benefit. When Kali unfurls her tongue with ferocious expression, she is embarking upon spiritual deliverance. It is the action that precedes her bringing about the end of a diabolical era of greed, fear, confusion, hatred, self-righteousness, and negativity. The tongue of Kali is a reminder that no matter what we may see unfolding before us, there is always a pathway back to the heroic and beautiful. If you have been struggling to let go of the negative legacy, perhaps one that extends back through generations or has infiltrated a group you belong to, this oracle signifies that a radical divine intervention shall take place. Call upon her for such assistance now. Know that an era of darkness is going to end. Unexpectedly and suddenly, a new spiritual dawn shall arise. An entirely new era is due to unfold. Keep close to Ma. She shall ensure it is brought into being in the best way at the best time. I'll tell you this. Between the last message and this one, the fun and games are over. The fun and games are over. The scales are being balanced. Will you go down with the ship or rise with the divine? We are being called as humans to release the old, lest it take you down. This is about balance. It's about restoring balance. It's about breaking conformity, breaking social standards, breaking what we've been conditioned and programmed to believe that isn't even true. The time is now. It may seem like nothing is ever going to change. But the divine has had enough. I just heard the divine is on a warpath for righteousness. No more abusing its people. No more taking advantage of innocence. No more abusing the planet. No more abusing its children. Things are changing in their right timing. Things are being cleared out, like I told you before. Get out of my way. Like I said, they've had enough. That which is God has had enough. Have you? It's time to take a stand for righteousness, and not in a holier than thou judgmental way. It's up to the individual. I have no control over you. You have no control over me. And none of us have any control over the divine plan. But we have control of where we put our energy. We have control over where we shed our light. I'm getting that. And man, I haven't read the Bible in a long time, and I'm getting the scripture, or I'm hearing. I know that there is a scripture that talks about hiding a light under a basket. I'm gonna have to find that, but that's what I'm seeing. No more hiding your light. The world needs bravery right now, not submission. The world needs people to wake up. I'm being shown. I'm being shown. It's like a flip book in my brain right now, and I'm being shown person after person after person just on their phone, scrolling on their phone, numbing out, just on their phone, on their phone, on their phone, on their phone. Wake up. There's an entire world headed in the wrong direction happening around you. It's not in here. It's out here. In the now, in the present, in the real world. Not in this illusion, imaginary world that's been created. This disgusting display of who's better than who's prettier than who's got more than who. It's all bullshit. And if we don't wake up to that fact, I don't know what's gonna happen. All I know is I don't want to be caught sleeping. It's like these zombie apocalypses now, and people are being numbed and nullified with all this media. It's a distraction from your sole purpose. If it's not being used for the greater good, it's a waste of fucking time and energy. It's a waste of your God power. What are you feeding yourself? What are you feeding your soul? What are you putting out into the world? What are you teaching the younger generations? We live in a world right now where people are more concerned with the shape of their fucking eyebrows than they are with the shape of their heart and their mind and the planet. Millions are turning their souls into a void. into an inhabitable space for negative energy. We need to be here. We need to be present. We need to be in our bodies, not out there in the illusions, in the imaginary world, in the material. What did that say? Now I gotta find it again. What number is this? Number 13. I hope I can find it quick enough. Oh, I'm reading the wrong one, sorry. Give me a minute. I see the sentence, but I gotta find it. Okay, I'm just gonna read this. That's that I gotta find that lamp under a basket. I know somebody knows what I'm talking about. During this time globally, the light of spiritual knowledge is partially subsumed within the darkness of ignorance and confusion. Even those with the awareness to have positive intentions can become confused and place profit. That's what I was looking for. Place profit above integrity, attack brothers and sisters, or lay claim to knowledge on false foundations. Even when our intentions are noble, in effect, our actions can create further suffering. Such conflict and confusion are signs that asuric or negative forces have gained the upper hand. Kali Ma's darkness and ferocity are required to redress the spiritual imbalance. We are in particular need of her most terrifying manifestations when we become confused as to what belongs to the higher sacred truth and what does not. What are you putting out into the world? Everything is energy. Everything is energy. And the words you speak can either heal or hurt. They can either bring about change or crush any potential. We need to come into a self-awareness of these things. We need to wake up and really pay attention to what we're putting out there. Are we feeding the zombies? Or are we feeding the souls? Change is inevitable. Will you be part of the change or part of the destruction? It's up to you. I'm going to leave it at that. That was heavy. I hope you enjoyed this message. You're beautiful. I love you.